What's up, everybody? I think it's time to do a monthly update on expenses and give you a report for what it costs us to live here in Da Nang in the month of July. So as many of you know, if you've been watching this channel, we made a move from Cam Le over to Antung. And we've been in this Antung apartment since the beginning of July. So we have a full month's worth of rent, utilities, as well as expenses that we incurred. Now, I'm going to give you a baseline estimate of our monthly expenses. I'm going to exclude in that calculation things that were one-offs. And when I talk about one-offs, I'm talking about money that we spent to get the windows tinted. That was crucial. Money that we spent to get the furniture. That was a one-time purchase. Not going to do that again. Money that was spent for lamps, other type of furniture, just one-off type of purchases. And also, I'm not going to include the cost of medication for a recent sinus infection that I had. So right off the bat, I just want to let you know that our total housing costs, that includes rent, 13,500,000 dong, which is 515 US dollars. Then we had electricity. We use 1,073 kilowatt hours, and we're being charged $4,000 per kilowatt hour. A little on the high side, but total was 4,292,000 dong. That came out to $163. Which is not bad considering it's the hottest part of the year. We had the AC running in at least 2 rooms at all times. There were times when all 3 AC units were running full blast because it was freaking hot during the month of July and the first couple of weeks in August. So our total costs for rent and electricity, water that we have to pay the building management team, and then the HOA management fee, came out to 18,192,000 dongs. So that's roughly $694 per month for our accommodations. So that's about what you can expect to pay realistically for a spacious 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Now you can pay a lot less, say $250 if you're looking at a 1-bedroom or a studio apartment. But I like my space, man. I like to stretch out a little bit. I want to walk around. I want to go from one room to the next. I want to have a living area. I want to have a bedroom. So this is something that this is our lifestyle. This is what we want. And because it's so hot, you do spend a lot of time indoors. Transportation. We only use Grab, and we use a lot less of Grab because we're walking a whole lot more since we're living in the expat area. So we go to the beach 2 to 3 times a week. It's a 6-7 minute walk from our apartment. So no need to get a Grab. And we were walking down there the other day, and I said to my wife, I said, if we had motor scooters, we would be lazy, actually. Because what would we be doing? We'd go down, get the scooter, jump on the scooter, ride to the beach, find parking, park the bike, have it sit out in the hot sun, try to get on it with the hot seat in the hot sun, and then get back to our apartment. We would be doing less walking if we had a scooter. So I'm glad we don't have a scooter. I'm too old for that shit. I don't want to even take a chance. I've said it time and time again. My goal is to arrive alive, and I'll use Grab cars only because I can beat the heat because they have the AC going, and it's a car. So we're not at risk. And so I'm glad we don't have a scooter because it forces us to walk. So that being said, our cost for Grab is basically to go to Vincom Center, the shopping mall, or Lotte, which is a grocery store that we just went to today, or to Mega Market, which is another kind of Costco-like type of shopping area. So that's basically the only times that we use Grab. Most of the time we're walking. Every morning I do a morning walk, and then every evening my wife and I do an evening walk. So we're walking all over the place. In fact, in the evenings what we'll do is we'll walk, and then if we find a place that looks interesting to eat, we'll stop and eat. So our meals are very inexpensive, but it's, we do eat some Western food. So those kinds of foods are associated with higher costs. So our total Grab cost for the month is about $100. Food for eating out, we spend a lot, probably about $350. I put down here 10 million dong. So that's, going out to Western type restaurants. Groceries, we spend about 4 million dong. So that's every time we go to Lotte, every time we go to Mega Market, I'm calculating those costs, keeping those receipts. And then every time we go to the corner store to get milk or juice or iced tea or even ice cream, that kind of stuff. We just calculate that as groceries. I also pay for water, big 5-gallon bottles of water. and that gets delivered to our place, and we get one a week. So that's about 35,000 per bottle delivered to our place, one a week. So that's $1.34. And grooming, haircut, manicure, pedicure. I mean, I have my hair cut. I have a high fade, leave a little on the top. My wife just does manicure, pedicure once a month because it's so good. It lasts so long. So she does that. So I got here maybe $20. That could be about right. Other expenses, internet. We have direct internet service. So instead of relying on free Wi-Fi from the building, we just got Vitel to just bring a line in, and we pay about $11 a month for that. My wife has an eSIM card, so she has a Vietnamese phone number. We pay $5 a month for that. What else? Extracurricular stuff, a bun bao here, a bun bao there. They all add up. I'm just throwing 5 million dong, $190 a month. And then of course we have subscriptions. So we have Netflix, YouTube, Apple TV, Apple Music. Of course I have Apple Storage, iCloud, Roku. All those subscriptions add up to about $110 to $120 a month. I want to emphasize how inexpensive it is to live in Vietnam. Like, for example, this Coca-Cola, 13,500 dong. A can of beer, Heineken, cost me a little less than $1. So everything, across the board, and I'm not even joking here, all of our expenses are roughly, except for housing, all the other expenses are roughly about 10% of what it would cost us to purchase back in the States. Laundry, that's an expense that I didn't include. Laundry, we do laundry once a week, and they come and pick it up, go do the laundry, wash, dry, fold, and deliver back. And they charge us 12,000 per kilogram, 12,000 dong per kilogram. So we're figuring 50,000 dong per week. So about $2 a week to get our laundry washed, dried, folded, picked up, and delivered. And that's crucial because when it was extremely hot, carrying a bag of laundry to the laundromat, you're sweating bullets when it's all said and done. Now, when we enter into rainy season, that's going to be even more of a hassle. So having delivery, game changer. So that's all totaled, kind of went around the way, but all totaled, our monthly living expenses here in Vietnam, take away all the one-offs, the window tinting like I talked about, the furniture, and some of the other things, I can confidently say that we're spending about $1,900 a month, just under $2,000 a month to live comfortably here in Vietnam. $2,000. To be exact, $1,896.95. So I'm just rounding it up to $2,000. And that's a comfortable amount of money that you would need to live off of on a monthly basis for a couple. $2,000 for a single person. I would say you would think there would be $1,000. It depends on the kind of lifestyle you want to lead, what kind of accommodations you want. If you're comfortable with just a basic hotel room type of accommodation, a studio with a hot plate, then you could probably get one of those for like $250, and then your monthly expenses could be anywhere from $800 a month to $1,250 a month, depending upon your lifestyle, what you like to do, how much you like to go out. I'm 60, my wife is 50, and, going out to clubs is not happening with us. We don't do that. It's too loud. And we stick out like sore thumbs, because we'd be like the old expats. But trust me, there's a lot of older expats out there doing that. What we like to do is go to the beach. You can see the color. And we try to get there 2, sometimes 3 times a week, which is nice. When we get to the beach, we rent out those lounge chairs underneath the umbrellas, and it costs 40,000 dong each. So 80,000 dong for the day. 80,000 dong for the day. $3 for the day for 2 chairs under the umbrella. And of course, you can order, drinks from them directly, or you can just bring your own. We just bring our own drinks. We bring 3 to 4 beers, 2 iced teas, a couple of waters, and pick up a banh mi along the way, and that's it. And that covers us for the entire time that we're spending on the beach. And we probably spend about 2 to 3 hours each time that we go to the beach. So it's a very, inexpensive form of entertainment. We get out into the water. It's so refreshing. Get the vitamin D, and then you get your exercise in the water as well. Low impact. So all in all, life is amazing here in Vietnam. Great for retirees. And it's not about living like a king. You know what? I mean, who wants to be that guy? You know, just be kind of an asshole and just like spend your money and flash your money just because you got money. That's not our style. So we just like to live comfortable, free, unencumbered, stress-free, and just an easy life. We're homebodies for the most part. You know, we'll do things like we just recently did a 3-museum tour on a very hot and humid day in Vietnam. That was one way to beat the heat. We are planning to go back to America soon for about a month, and then we'll get back. And then we'll go to Banna Hills. We want to go to Hoi An again, depending upon the weather, because when it rains, Hoi An gets flooded, so it's not as fun. But when we get back, if the weather's still permitting, we'll go to Hoi An for a couple of days because that's a beautiful town. And that's a tourist town. Da Nang is an expat town. It's a place where you can live. Hoi An is a tourist town, and there's not a whole lot to do there except, you know, be involved in the tourist type things like the old town, going to the beach, which, you know, a lot of people swear that Hoi An beach is better than Da Nang beaches. I tend to disagree. There's just more space available on the Da Nang beaches than there are on the Hoi An beaches. And on the Hoi An beach, I saw the Bun Bao guy riding his scooter on the sand. And that's just you know, like I want to get away from Mr. Bun Bao. You know, I like him. He serves a purpose, but man, every single time, I mean, that guy he's a stalker. He's following me around. Bun Bao day. Stuck in your brain, man. Stuck in your head. So anyway, guys, $1,896, round it up, call it $2,000 a month. That's what it costs to live comfortably here in Da Nang for 2 people living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. Expenses are readily available. I got a PDF if you want to see that. Let me know in the comments. Leave me your email address. I'll be happy to send it out to you. I keep track of our expenses, you know, since we got here in March. Here we are in August. I'm going to continue to do this for the entire time that we're here in Vietnam. I get a running tally and average that I can share with people to be more accurate. That's what I'm trying to do, is just provide you with value, provide you with accurate information so that you can make better decisions when it's time to make the move and plant yourself in Da Nang. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. This place is amazing. Aloha.